The science of deception. This is Veridecs, a specialized statement analysis tool designed to bridge the gap between raw audio and forensic truth. Unlike standard transcription, Veridecs maps the psychological landscape of a speaker. Today, we are analyzing a high-profile interview with Stephen Avery. As we open the analysis page, we select the Audio Interview function. Veridecs begins its multi-pass scan, looking for leakage, the unintentional release of information that occurs when the brain is forced to manage a fabrication. The summary, a high-conflict narrative. The report immediately flags a primary labeled denial escalation and shows the summary of the detected findings. For example, the subject's statement exhibits significant indicators of deception and evasion. Key issues include the omission of the personal pronoun, I, when recounting a critical conversation with police, a weak denial and non-committal response to a polygraph question, and the use of impersonal, distancing language when asked about personal feelings. Look at the data: an evasion score of 82/100ths and a deception probability of 78%. In forensic linguistics, a truthful person has nothing to manage but their memory. Here, Veridecs detects a constructed narrative. The summary highlights a critical weakness, a non-committal response to polygraph questions, and the use of distancing language when asked about personal feelings. Leakage severity. The 18 signals. Scrolling to the leakage ribbon, we see a severity of 85/100ths. Veridecs has identified 18 distinct narrative leakage patterns. Leakage is the cost of lying. Because maintaining a lie is cognitively demanding, the truth leaks through subconscious cues. We see markers such as narrative tense shifts, self-correction, and unsolicited justification. These clusters suggest the subject is working hard to manage the interviewer's perception of him. Forensic vocabulary, the liar's numbers. In the forensic vocabulary module, we see words with high psychological weight. Notice the numbers 3 and 30. In statement analysis, these are known as liar's numbers. Statistically, when a person is forced to invent a number or a time, the brain defaults to the number 3, more often than any other. We also see the word just used as a minimizer, an attempt to soften the impact of an event or decrease personal responsibility. Unnecessary words, the bid for confirmation. The unnecessary words ribbon reveals the subject's internal tension. The term "you know" appears 16 times. This isn't just a filler, it's a bid for confirmation. The subject is checking to see if the interviewer is buying the story. Every is a moment where the subject pauses to evaluate his own credibility. We also see the word so used for justification, signaling a shift from simply recounting events to trying to explain why those events make sense. Chronological flow and pronoun omission. Now we look at a critical narrative flow anomaly. Avery says, told him, around 2:30. Note the red marker in the UI, the pronoun I is missing. Truthful accounts are I-centric. By omitting the I, the subject subconsciously distances himself from the information he gave the police regarding the timeline. He is narrating the event as an observer, rather than the person who actually lived it. Social isolation, the missing we. The social isolation ribbon identifies a partnership fragment. Avery describes a shared interaction with the victim, but the word we is completely absent. In relational contexts, people naturally use we to describe shared experiences. This psychological barrier suggests that, in the speaker's mind, there was no unity or cooperation between him and the victim at the time of the event. Lack of proprietary interest. Under lack of proprietary interest, Veridecs flags how Avery refers to his own home. He refers to the house 4 times with 0 ownership, never once calling it my house. This linguistic disowning is a massive red flag in forensic analysis. It indicates that the subject is viewing his personal environment as a mere prop in his story rather than a part of his identity. Veridecs Deep AI analysis picks up the most problematic segments from the statement. Top 3 to 5 segments with the highest concentration of deception/evasion indicators. Here the most crucial finding are following sentences. It's too close to home. Something happening. It's not good. Everybody locks their doors now around here. Analysts should see that the subject is mostly worried about the location of the incident, as the subject stated, quote, "too close to home." He does say my home, but these remarks combined with lack of sympathy to Teresa is something we should note. The gender leap and leaked knowledge. The most striking finding is the leaked knowledge gender leap. Avery introduces an unknown, someone, but immediately switches to the gender-specific pronoun she. Veridecs flags this because, in a surprise event, the brain stays neutral until identification is confirmed. This immediate leap suggests the subject already knows exactly who the individual is, leaking his familiarity into the script. Conclusion and investigative hooks. The analysis concludes with an investigative hook regarding passive compliance. Veridecs highlights the phrase, "I just told him no," and suggests asking, "What options did you believe you had at that moment?" By automating this deep linguistic scan, Veridecs provides investigators with the hooks needed to find the truth hidden in the words. Veridecs, where every statement has a signature. Forensic annotation keys. To understand these results, we look at the forensic annotation key. Veridecs uses specific visual markers to map the evidence. Classic leakage patterns are identified by bolding and underlining the text. These represent the moments where the subject's narrative fractures. Unique words, those with the highest emotional load, are marked with a double underline. Advanced markers. One of our most powerful features is the present tense bracket. Veridecs wraps present tense verbs used within a past tense narrative in angled brackets. This highlights the exact moment a subject stops drawing from memory and starts reliving a mental image in real time. We also use the asterisk to mark chronological anomalies. This identifies where the story jumps out of sequence, such as describing a reaction before an observation, a classic sign of a rehearsed script. Finally, the caret indicates pronoun omission, marking where the subject has subconsciously removed themselves from the action. In this video, we covered only part the Stephen Avery interview analysis. To get the full Veridecs experience, please visit www.veridecs.com.